Going to break into Zach's report right now with breaking news following a pursuit, a carjacking pursuit, ongoing right now, looks like in Whittier.
Yeah, we're taking a live look right now. Again, this is, we just are now getting over it, but it's been going on. Again, this is, we just are now getting over it, but it's been going on at least since about 5:30. We've got former LAPD officer Dave Avila with us, I believe, on the phone. Dave, were you able to figure out if there was anything behind this, any more information you were able to get?
That's what I'm trying to do right now, trying to contact them, and they're real busy, but they're trying to grab somebody for me so we could find out exactly what's going on as far as it's other than a carjacking, Whittier PD in pursuit. So this has been going on for a while, so that's exactly what we're going to, just keep up with them for now, but trying to get hold of them.
Okay, no worries. And of course, we know right now we're just going to stay on top of this as we seem to have a little bit of those technical issues, little glitches there, but we're obviously focusing in on this dark colored car as it appears to be making a lot of turns with no headlights on.
Yeah, at one point there just now, it looked like it was on the wrong side of the road, and then U-turning here on Slauson Ave, and I wonder if it's making an attempt to get on the freeway here and things changing the dynamic, because the initial point that I was going to make was that it was going rather slow, relative to everything else, but now, of course, as we get on the 605, things are going to change at least a bit.
So dangerous, a dark colored car and no lights. I mean, this is the type of thing going, potentially much faster on these freeways and on surface level streets. So, I mean, we're going to potentially see a very dangerous situation there as we zoom in, see at least one person. We still don't know, Gio, how many people are in this vehicle, if it's more than one, but Whittier PD seems to be staying pretty close behind him there.
And Dave, going back to Hunter's point about the fact that this car doesn't have headlights on, I mean, you mentioned this just last week when we last chatted with you. Right now, the lights from the black and whites and obviously from the helicopter overhead, it really seems to be the biggest sort of heads up to other drivers who may be coming home or heading back after a holiday weekend to, hey, keep an eye out right now because something crazy could be happening. And
hey guys.
Go ahead, Dave.
About that, I was on the line with Whittier PD. They're still kind of following up on exactly what happened, so they're going to get back to me as soon as they can. But the watch commander's kind of tied up. But as we got it right now, it's a carjacking suspect. More so what used.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties there with Dave as well, but so we'll try to reestablish that in a second. And obviously, he's been trying to talk with Whittier PD for a bit to try to get some updates, as well as we are too, making in calls. But this is the danger right now, as you see, we're already in just the last few seconds going from far right lane up to the HOV lane, back out to the right. And again, those headlights is really the lack of headlights, I should say. So it's really concerning on top of a whole mess of other things.
Whittier PD being really aggressive with this. Sometimes we see them want to hang back and not, potentially put other drivers in danger if that's something that could potentially add another element of safety to this. But wow, I mean, you see him there slowing down, almost coming to a stop. It looks like they're almost cornering him, trying to get him surrounded. This is certainly not something we have seen in quite a long time of just having those two officers there, two Whittier PD officers almost coming up on both sides of that vehicle and trying to get this guy to stop. I mean, you can imagine being one of those vehicles right now on the road, seeing this happening around you. I mean, they're going 50 miles an hour, obviously not as fast as they could be going, but still a pretty good speed there, Dave.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was on the line with, I don't know if you heard me earlier, I had a couple of lines going at the same time.
No worries.
Watch commander's tied up, but yeah, as far as we know so far, it's a carjacking. I'm just trying to find out if it was bodily force or weapon was used in this. But yeah, in every department, I mean, when was the last time we ever seen Whittier PD in a pursuit? Haven't for as long as I can remember. But as you could tell, though, their tactics are different from CHP, LAPD, LA sheriffs. It's amazing to see how they work it now. But
what was that, Dave? Can you kind of explain what that would have been? Those two, officer patrol cars coming up on both sides of him. What are they trying to do there?
I think they're just trying to get them over to the side. They're communicating back and forth, and actually they're on the line right now with the watch commander, who would be the incident commander in this situation. But yeah, it's just a different type of tactic. I think what they were trying to do was just showed some use of force there. that they're not getting away. And as you can tell now, it looks like we're creeping up on the suspect.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's getting dangerously close to other cars there too. In a situation, as you take a look at earlier, the video on the right side, this is what Hunter was just talking about, is you had Whittier PD sort of getting up close to the side, try to sandwich them in,
Almost like
corner them
box
up.
them in, yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden, then you get some extra lanes on the right side, and the vehicle continues. But as we take you back out live here with SkyCal overhead, I mean, the dangerous thing here, Dave, and I was trying to make this point earlier. I know you were busy on the line, but you know, the no headlights coming out, at least from what we can tell on that suspect's
Still
vehicle.
no lights.
You know, you have the black and whites, and then you also have the chopper overhead. That's really the big reminder to folks on what's a lot of roads on, what's a lot of cars on the roads right now is hey, red alert, keep an eye out because something crazy is happening around here.
Yeah, exactly. So we keep that light on them. So I'm happy about that. And then the black and white's right on them. This way people can see them. And from what I can see it, I mentioned it, I don't know how many times, about if you're on the freeway, you see something like that coming at you. The only thing I can advise, and this is personal, it's just not extra training you get or anything, but it's just maintain your speed and your location on the freeway, stay in your lane. Because you can see, especially with this, we have black and whites on both sides of the suspect.
They seem to have backed off a little bit as we enter the Downey Norwalk area here on the 105 West. He's passing that exit 16 there. But I mean, we saw him as he creeped up onto that backed up traffic, really slowing down, weaving in and out of traffic, obviously has no regard for anyone else's safety, because there's been moments here where he's driving like right now on the far right side of the road, just passing those vehicles that have no idea what's going on. And Gio, they probably don't even see him. Dave, I mean, these lights are off. This car is dark. Explain to us just how dangerous of a situation this is right now.
Hunter, you know how it goes. I mean, this guy's doing 40 miles per hour. These other cars are doing 35, something like that. It doesn't take much to spin out a car, meaning these poor people on the freeway. So that's what's so dangerous about this thing here. And then with the lights off, I'm not sure what they're thinking, because we're not going to get away. They're going to continue. I guess we're still westbound to 5 coming up Lakewood.
Yeah, so
Looks like Lakewood Boulevard.
we're on the 105 here. This is after going south on the 605 for at least a bit.
Right.
And, you know, just keep an eye on the map and everything else.
Look at him, just,
once again, worth reminding that we don't know if it's more than just one driver in the car right now. And Dave, I imagine the other factor and variable here is the fact that obviously with a carjacking, you have to imagine perhaps a weapon was used. I mean, that complicates factors even more so, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if the officers aren't sure of how that is, which I would imagine they do, but yeah, that complicates things even more. I mean, if there's a weapon involved, that kind of negates a pit maneuver, because it places you too close to this suspect. You know, we should all say that you spit them out and then you drive away, and you're right next to them. Plus, I'm waiting to see if
where'd they go? Did they back off?
They were back there. I see a
Okay.
little bit
Oh, there they are.
there
Okay.
Yeah. So just say, okay, we're getting off the freeway. So I was waiting for CHP to join this. I'm surprised they haven't yet.
I mean, that's another point to make too, is when you start getting onto the freeways, obviously this is well out of the Whittier area where we picked this up, or where we believe it started, because it's Whittier PD pursuing them. But we've exited the freeway. We're now Somerset Ranch Road and the East or Garfield Avenue exit right here in the Southgate, East Los Angeles area. But I mean, this guy, he may not be going very fast, but the way that he's been driving certainly points to the fact that he is going to do whatever it takes to try to shake these guys. This has just been so dangerous to watch.
And so far, as we
get more dangerous.
Yeah, and now there were points here where I was wondering, as we zoom in a little bit to try and see if we can make out somebody else.
There. Do you see that cell phone, or is that just me?
Well, I was wondering about that too, because I thought maybe on the driver's side we saw a cell phone, but you know, we'll obviously continue to keep an eye on that. But the most lights you get out of this car right now are the brake lights, as we kind of think through, right? It's just so terrifying to look at. And obviously, as now the dynamic changes on when we're on surface streets, as we always like to point out, is that now you have all these other variables. Even if the speed is reduced, then you're worried about pedestrians, you're worried about people going back home after a holiday weekend. You have rear end possibilities. It's just there's a lot going on right now, Dave, that is really concerning as we try to zoom in again to see if we can get a better look.
Driving on the the turn lanes.
You can see the desperation's even increased now, because he was driving on the wrong side of the road. Here he is, bumper to bumper, front bumper to bumper with that pickup truck. He got around that, but earlier he made that one that northbound turn to a westbound turn, wrong side of the road all the way around the corner. And thank goodness it wasn't any of the cars coming eastbound.
So we know that this car is a carjacking suspect. We don't know, again, if they're armed. We don't know if there's more than one person in the vehicle, but we do know that they are, doing whatever it takes, driving on these surface streets, getting onto the freeways, driving at one point on the far right shoulder of the road. And with these kind of cars, you never know if they're going to be able to hit a, spare tire, hit something in the road that could maybe slow them down. But a lot of times, I mean, these smaller vehicles, Dave, they're able to withstand a little more than maybe those bigger, heavier vehicles. But we still don't know, again, I mean, why they're driving with these lights off. That can't be easy for them. It's almost hindering them
right.
just as much as everybody else, because the brake lights, as Gio said, the only light we're getting out of this is we see them take another right turn there on Garfield Avenue in the Downey Norwalk area.
Yeah, and of course, that you had hinted towards, Hunter, is that, of course, any pursuit's dangerous, freeway or side streets, but these streets here, it's still early enough where you could have some pedestrians. It looks pretty vacant. I mean, that's
Definitely
we're kind of lucky there. And he hasn't driven. Well, not that I was going to say that, he's gone up to 60.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. He was kind of maintaining a normal speed, which is not saying it's any safer, but. Yeah, okay. No, it looks like I believe that's going to be an
another
eastbound.
aggressive turn.
Yeah, right now you sort of wonder, as we always ask in these situations, is this an area that the suspect is familiar with? Because any prolonged stretch of time that it doesn't get back on the highway, then you're wondering, okay, maybe they're looking for an area to ditch the car or switch cars, or calling up a friend and seeing if they can help out in this chaotic situation. I mean, we've seen that a million times over.
Yeah, exactly. So. Okay, well, the black and white still staying on it.
Looks like they turned their lights off, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they got their ambers. Well, hold on a sec here. I'm sorry. Yes.
So as we take a look at the right side of the screen, what we saw earlier, as Dave gets us some more information there from Whittier PD. Hopefully, we're watching him as he gets back on the freeway earlier. He now appears to be getting back on another freeway.
Looks like Imperial Highway. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So for now, that's what we're looking at right now.
As he speeds through that intersection.
Well,
right there.
and also worth reminding that at that point when he flipped around, did the U-turn and flipped around, that's when he jumped on the 605 before then going west on the 105, exiting off into Southgate, and now we're on Imperial Highway. So still in the Downey Norwalk area, but there's just so much going on right now, especially as you see all these other cars and traffic. Where if you didn't know what was going on, right? If you're not watching this, if you don't see the lights,
you probably have no clue that this
on an
is a
officer's
police
car,
pursuit.
none. You have zero. You're just wondering why the helicopter is overhead, and I think that's what makes it all the more confusing, dangerous, chaotic, because right now it's just kind of blending in.
Yeah, I mean, he is blending in, except for these, desperate measures he appears to be taking to try and outmaneuver those officers with Whittier Police. Still no word yet, as he looks like he's coming to a stop here. 15, 14, yeah.
You wonder if that's because of traffic or because officers are directly behind. I mean, they haven't really lost sight of this person, and it almost looked like they clipped that vehicle. Did that look like that to you, Dave?
Yeah, it looked like the suspect's left rear went up against the Jeep's right front quarter panel. So desperation is increasing here. Speeds are increasing. Something happened there where he scared the heck out of them.
Something, triggered it, because this is the fastest we've seen, especially on these surface streets and not on the freeway. But the traffic, Dave, this is adding an element. We've got more of those Whittier PD officers behind him, at least one more than the two we've seen tracking for the last, 10, 15 minutes. But this guy is obviously trying to shake them and with whatever means possible, slowing down, speeding up, weaving in and out of these cars. But we come to places like this where what does he do? He just takes another aggressive turn right into traffic. So dangerous. Well,
and one of the other things, Dave, too, here is the fact that, and we've seen this a couple of times already, where it's almost like because there's a good bit of traffic out on the roads where this driver's at right now, it almost has boxed him in, more so than police have directly behind. I mean, I'm wondering what what the idea is or tactics are in terms of the pursuit, because they've kind of laid off a bit in the sense of, we're re-showing the clip of the Jeep there. They've laid off a bit in terms of not having the lights on, not being directly behind, but there's no shortage of officers still in pursuit of this suspect.
Now they're staying on them. They won't let them go. So there's something going on that I think that they're aware of that we are not yet.
Yep.
So I think that's why they're going to just stay with them. And don't forget, we have the local PD or the sheriffs here uh, that are going to get on there. So I think, are we getting back on the
He's
freeway
getting
here?
back on the freeway,
Yeah.
105
Yeah.
East, it looks like. And as we were zoomed out there, it did look like Whittier PD maybe backed off. That makes you wonder if, as he's getting back on the freeway, maybe they've called CHP in to pick this up. We know all week they have been so aggressive in these police pursuits. CHP is in their maximum enforcement period, which we have seen them, really following
Right.
cars that are doing simple infractions like violating the carpool lane changes, cell phone violations. That's not what we're following here. We're following somebody that is potentially very dangerous. A carjacking suspect is what this is. So again, as we follow this car, who's now putting his blinkers on, it looked like for a second there.
Yeah.
You wonder if
You
CHP
notice
is going to join in.
his left rear light is broken where it was not before. Let's see. I think we hit it. You'll see a white brake light.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it does
that's
sort
when
of
he
look like that.
clipped- Yeah, when he clipped that Jeep. So yeah, maybe they're probably and you're right about being this type of weekend. It's max deployment for CHP, so we have plenty of units that are out there. So they are in the vicinity. So I think once they're asked to take over, they'll be right on it. So, and I can't see why Whittier PD wouldn't do that. So they're probably working on it.
Yep, you're right
Yeah,
about that.
definitely.
That tail light that was white. Obviously, some damage there when they clipped that Jeep.
And the other thing here too is that now that we're on the 105 but going eastbound, it's sort of tracing the same steps that started us here. Because remember when we broke in, we were on the getting on the 605, then going on the 105 westbound. Now we're going 105 eastbound. So you wonder if either they're going to continue this, get back either on the 605 or elsewhere, and then we just kind of stay on the freeway for a while. But then that loops in whether or not CHP will take this over for Whittier PD, or if we're still going to keep a bit of a distance
Right.
here and see what happens next, because there's a lot still going on with the fact that this is a very damaged car.
Damaged car and still not one headlight
No.
that we've seen. I mean, that just
Oh, now westbound.
is so surprising here. Yeah, westbound there on the
Yeah.
105.
And then there we go. Now,
Yeah.
now on
Okay.
the 605 going back south. So looks like we're sort of hitting at least
Areas.
a similar area to where we were when we first started this, or
Yeah,
at least when we were.
we're kind of heading back towards Whittier. I think we're north. I believe we're northbound.
Yep.
605.
There you go.
Yeah. So that way, okay. Now we're heading back, and that's getting to what we were talking about earlier. You folks brought it up, and that's we've always seen them. They like to stick around an area that they're familiar with, where they know they have some friendlies that lived in the area, probably talking to them now, saying, "Hey, I need a place to ditch this thing, and I need somebody to help me get out of here." It's not going to happen, especially in that area. But I think that's what he's going through. I mean, of course, we'll never know. And as far as the people involved, or how many we have in there, we're still not certain.
No. As we zoom in, try to see if there's somebody in the passenger side. It's just too dark to really be able to tell. It looked like it maybe earlier, but from that shot right there, as they zoomed in, did a great job of getting us a peek at what the passenger side looks like. It's still
Yeah.
just so dark, but we can see as we zoom out, at least those Whittier PD officers have fallen back just a bit. So unclear if they're going to let CHP take this over. Obviously still following it with the air pursuit.
And I'm wondering where he's going, or where the suspect is going right now, because yeah, you're right. It's been rather consistent the entire time in terms of we've seen a couple of moments where officers have gotten close and tried to box in the suspect and sort of close things off. But for the most part, other than that, I
Yeah.
should say, they've kind of veered off and
just followed him.
and keep weaving in and out through traffic as we're on Florence Ave and Studebaker Road right now, still in the Downey Norwalk area. But again, we're not really getting a close eye in terms of being able to tell if it's just the driver or if there's
Yeah.
somebody else in that passenger seat as
Exactly.
well.
It's just so
But now it looks
dark.
like we're jumping on the 5. So, it doesn't seem like they have any intent of slowing down, really. Like, I think going to Dave, to your point earlier, it's just kind of buying themselves some time that they might ultimately not really have.
That's exactly. It's just, yeah, I think you're right. They're just talking to some people now and just trying to decide what they're going to do. But and they may be trying to, thinking that if they stay on the freeway long enough, the black and whites will pull off that we've seen in the past, even though they are in the vicinity, that they would, they're thinking that they're going to break loose from them. One thing about Whittier PD, they're staying right with them. I
Yeah.
like what they're kind of doing, and that's they're doing their own version of tracking. They're pretty close. Usually you go ahead and you get out of sight, but the lights and siren on, and what that's doing is that's calming the suspect down, I
Yep.
believe, because we've seen once they creeped up on them before, all of a sudden we're looking at 70 miles per hour, 80 on surface
Yeah.
streets. But now we're just almost going with the flow of traffic. We're in the 70s.
We saw him get pretty jumpy earlier, to your point, Dave, when those lights got right on him when he clipped that Jeep. He's definitely being spooked when he starts to see those officers get more aggressive. So maybe this is the move to just kind of fall back and make him think that maybe they're going to let this go. But certainly not what we've seen this week with all the pursuits we've had. They've been very, very aggressive.
And we also want to point out we're getting some new information being told to us right now that the suspect is not armed and that this carjacking was in Whittier. So that's how it all started. Once again, PD or police in pursuit right now of a carjacking suspect. This happened in Whittier. We understand that the suspect is not armed, but this has been ongoing for a while now. Jumping on the 605, getting on the 105, hovering around surface roads for quite a bit before now, where we are at this moment, on the 5 southbound. But yes, I think to Hunter, to your point, and then to Dave, to your point as well, is the fact that, with this sort of backed off and then tracking mode, they really just sort of, the suspect is blending in, so to speak. And I say that with heavy quotation marks, blending in with traffic to the degree of what we saw earlier, where all these tight weaves and clipping of other cars, like we saw with the Jeep. It's been at least a little bit more subdued right now,
He's
but
calmed down a bit,
with heavy surveillance, at least on top of this suspect.
Dave, I'm curious, as we try to reestablish the connection there, when we get word that somebody's not armed, how do they know that? I mean, they haven't been able to search this vehicle. Or maybe they assuming that the guy didn't, or the person didn't have a gun when he got in the vehicle, and that vehicle, because it's stolen, wouldn't have any weapons in it. I mean, I'm just curious about how they would be so confident as to say that this person's not armed.
That would come back. That would come to just speaking to the victim. Now, because we said there's no vehicle, there's no weapon involved, it's still we're in pursuit of a carjacking.
I see.
It's not like it's not like we're in pursuit of a GTA only, which is a crime against property.
Got it.
Now we're in crime, which is a crime against property, misdemeanor. We're in pursuit of a carjacking suspect. So was it strong? Was a strong arm?
Right.
That they knocked a person down, get into it, but this is escalated because of that. So I believe that's why we're on it. But with the de-escalation, it's once we get a clear shot here, we'll see just how he's doing.
We're taking a look at those earlier images, though. Believe he's going to come right up onto this Jeep that he clipped as he was trying to get back on the freeway in the Downey Norwalk area. But that was certainly when we saw him be the most aggressive, when he was just trying to,
just get out of there.
Drive in the, turn lanes, weaving around the cars. It didn't matter how close he got, even to the extent of hitting somebody. If it was just a clip, I mean, shows the desperation of this guy as we continue to track, but also obviously having some issues with our connection there.
And probably the point where that suspect thought that this was the end, right? Because everything got so tight. And, you saw the response of that driver really try to get out of there as quickly as possible, even if it meant getting into, ramming a little car or
for the sake of escaping.
Right, exactly. And now you're in a situation as we kind of get back out live here. It looks like we've reestablished this is earlier, I should say. It looks like we're still reestablishing the connection to get you live. This is when the officers still have their lights on, right? And this is as close as they get here. And other times try to box them in, or at least kind of remind that suspect, hey, we are right here. You should probably pull off to the side. And instead, just kind of keeps going.
And it did. It kind of ignited what we saw with the most drastic measures he was taking. He always seemed to kind of pick up speed or start driving on the other side of the road when he felt like those officers were pretty close to getting him. Maybe this is the area, too, where we saw them get on both sides of his vehicle and try to get him into that one location. As Dave was telling us earlier, everybody has their own kind of way of doing things. Whittier PD is the one that's taking the lead on this pursuit right now as we wait to hear word of if they're going to let CHP step in, because this has moved on to the freeways last we checked. But we've been following this now since at least 5:05, but even for us breaking into programming, it was at 6, sorry, so that would be about 6:05 when we broke into programming to follow this, but still waiting on more definitive information on this suspect. How many people are in the car? We know that they're wanted for that carjacking situation.
Especially considering that it's been going on for quite a bit at this point, and now sort of circling back and then extending itself to another direction as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you start getting into a situation where, and Dave, if you're still with us, where we brought this up before in terms of, you know, the worst case scenario, quote unquote, is for the suspect is that they run out of gas, and then, you know, like the pursuit is going to continue, the surveillance is going to continue, and if it's going to play out as long as humanly possible, that humanly possible is how much gas remains in that vehicle.
Yeah, that's certainly. Remember it also being a carjacking. Why did they feel that they had to do whatever to this individual, this victim, to jump in that car and take off? So what exactly is he running from, or she running from? We have no idea. So suspect, I mean, the victim may had said that no, I did not see a weapon, but that suspect forcefully took their vehicle over, which is carjacking. It's a felony. So we're going to continue the pursuit now. Whether or not the officers believe that this suspect has no weapon, no, I don't think so. You're going to treat it as a felony suspect, so you're going to be ready for them.
And just for those of you tuning in right now, we're showing you what was happening earlier. We're having some issues with our signal. So what's playing on your screen is not live there, but this is what Whittier PD have been dealing with throughout the evening with this carjacking suspect, as we have to wrap things up here in a bit, just because of the fact that we've not been able to maintain that signal. No,
but we will certainly continue to follow this pursuit and give you the latest details when it comes to updates, especially as it comes to an end, or hopefully comes to an end. So follow along here on air, and as well as our website at cbsla.com.
Dave, thank you for joining us, and of course we'll see you back here tonight. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Good night.
All right, we're back with that breaking news. Once again, we've reestablished the connection, so pardon as we break into live programming right now to continue on this carjacking pursuit suspect that initially started in Whittier, made its way around multiple freeways, and now back, looks like, on surface streets. And that brake light, as we pointed out, still broken.
Yeah, from where he clipped the Jeep
earlier.
Are
the headlights still off? Yes, they are.
Still off. So. Dark vehicle. They've got the air unit overhead right now, but we're not seeing any of those black and whites too close behind him.
Yeah, not too close, exactly.
Yeah, but they were there. So as this, we reestablish all of the information that we usually have there on the top of the screen telling us where exactly they are and how fast they're going. We'll try to get that up for you here in a minute. But Gio, we have been on this since at least 5:30. That we believe that's when it started. We broke in around 6 as we see that information there and lose signal again. But yeah, this is a guy wanted for a carjacking. We were told information earlier that he was not armed, but as our former LAPD expert there, former LAPD officer, Dave Avila tells us, they are still going to treat this as if he is armed. Of course, this is a suspect that has been very dangerous as he's driven through these streets for the last hour or so.
We also know that safety is paramount, not just to the public, but to officers as well. So they're going to handle this the way they typically handle all these situations. So in the case of spike strips or anything like that, could still possibly happen. But at the same time, if you're considering a suspect possibly armed, even if you know that they're not, chances are you lean toward the safer side as opposed to the aggressive side. But this is the area, or at least when I say this particular area, I mean in the sense of the surface streets with incoming traffic on all corners, right? You're making all these turns left, right, and sideways, and getting on the wrong side of the road as well. You're worried about head-on collision. You're worried about rear-ending something or someone, and then maybe any pedestrians that are out and about. I mean, we know it's a holiday weekend, but the danger is heightened in certain aspects, even if the speeds are greatly reduced.
I mean, this is something too that as we watch this guy, I mean, what is he doing? Where is he going? And what is his plan? I mean, we always try to get inside the heads of somebody as we see him turn down this street that's crowded with cars on both sides of the road, potentially pedestrians, and what looks like a neighborhood. If we could get some information, guys, on where exactly this vehicle is, that would be super helpful. We know this started in Whittier. Whittier PD's the lead on this pursuit. And we talked about it earlier. I mean, a lot of times they go back to areas where they know someone.
Yeah.
Maybe they've made some phone calls and said, hey, I need, somewhere to hide. They've maybe picked up the phone and have been able to contact somebody to help them get out of this.
And it looks like we have Dave Avila back on the phone. And Dave, I know we're having some technical issues on our end. Do you have any idea where, and I know we broke off for a couple minutes as well. Do you have an idea of where the suspect is right now? And are we back in Whittier or elsewhere?
No, I'm not sure where we're at right now. I'm still trying to find out and trying to get some information here, but it's not working. For some reason, I can't get through to them.
Sounds like we're having some technical difficulties on our end with the tracker, so that's the information that gives us the speed. Oh, as you see him just narrowly miss that person turning onto that side street.
Nope,
He's at a
cul-de-sac here.
cul-de-sac, so this is going to be the moment.
And this
He's
isn't
jumping
Whittier
out.
being
There we go,
Alrighty,
two people.
Here we go.
Two
Air unit now is
suspects.
going to start brought the location and broadcast the direction of the driver, and this is the one that they have. You notice that's the one that they got lit up now.
Right.
So they're going to just that's the one you want. You want to get both of them, but the primary is the driver.
Does it look
And
like?
that's exactly what they're doing now.
Yeah, so he's running what looks like in an alley or somewhere behind these or in front of front yards of the home.
Lamberg Drive, by the way, in Whittier is what I'm being told as to where we are right now in the location. So it is. It's just the chaos, right? Because this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You jump into backyards, you're going through fences, you're going through all these different places. It gives you spots to hide, but then obviously you have to be incredibly careful, especially if you live in this area, that there is someone that police want in this exact moment.
Two people
running through. Right, exactly. Two people. Yep.
So we've lost sight of both of them, Dave. I mean, it looked like right when he got around that house with the fence is where the spotlight lost him, but you gotta wonder, does he know someone in the area that's got the back door open and ready for him to just run in? Or is he gonna be jumping into somebody's backyard that has no idea what's going on?
And I think that's what happened here. He left his car around the corner, sprinted, knew exactly where he was going.
Yeah.
One thing, I did not see him come out on the other side of the tree. We were on the opposite side that we're on right now.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did notice is that the dog immediately started running
Yep.
to the I would say the north.
I saw that as
towards
well.
the backyard. Yeah, towards the backyard. So he may have been going after the suspect that was running back there. Now, as far as a friendly being in the area, that might have been what this was all about. So if the air unit got their FLIR, the forward-looking infrared device, they could start looking for a heat-seeking, heat signature, they call it, back there.
And you see officers, at least that's what I'm assuming, there at the end of the cul-de-sac with the flashlight pointing through. And obviously there's another chopper going by the area, but there's a number of police officers responding to that exact cul-de-sac with the car left behind as we sort of zoom in with SkyCal, try to get a look and see if there's any sign of either suspect just kind of popping out. It's incredibly difficult because it's incredibly dark and layered with so many things.
Of course, yeah. But Dave, it's funny that you noticed the dog as well, because it did appear that that dog had a point of contact that they were wanting to get to, whether that was away from somebody or towards someone. We're not sure. But I mean, this is just such a now every minute counts for these guys to track these people down.
Yeah, but what's going to help too is what we would call locking the suspect down, is keeping that air unit overhead, keeping the light going, because and this is what I'm trying to see if he comes up to our left side. I don't see him, but you'll see the dog take off north, I guess to the left, I should say, to back. There he goes. So he's running after something. I would assume, you can't be certain. When you're the TFO, the tactical flight officer, you're going to tell the officers on the ground exactly what you have, the location. Here's what I have. I seen a dog run to the rear. I do not have the suspect. We'll keep the area lit up. And what the suspect's doing now, if he's not inside the house, then he's somewhere underneath something, maybe in a garage, but he's pretty much locked down. So one of the things they might do now is go ahead and request K9, and whether it be the sheriffs or their own K9 unit to respond, and additional units. So I think that's about where we're at right now.
Yeah, and just sort of establishing that perimeter, because there's really nowhere to go at this point, especially not without a vehicle. And now it's just kind of we're looking at another dog in a backyard there, probably not the same exact one as before.
No, I don't think it wasn't quite that big.
But you know, it's sort of like overturning every stone and every leaf here to kind of find these suspects right now, and it's just a matter of time.
Yes. And it will be time, because this is such an awkward type. It's not a square block area. It's kind of like a L shaped with a, you know, and where he ran into looks like a guarded type of alleyway. So
had that
it's
fence
going to make it a little difficult.
that he had to get through.
Yeah, you remember what I said about these officers were in pursuit, but believe me, there's plenty of units around. You could see all the units that are out front now.
Yeah.
So they're devising a plan, and that's usually the pursuing unit. They'll go ahead and they'll take charge, like an incident commander, rather. They'll go ahead and just start setting up a perimeter. If not, they may just jump right into a search, because it's maybe in hot pursuit of them. They may have an idea. If that dog's in the back barking, of course they're going to go ahead and focus that area also. And they'll advise the area, what they're doing.
Well, Dave, we will certainly continue to keep an eye on this as it continues, as this pursuit, what started in Whittier as a carjacking pursuit and then ended, looks like, in Whittier again, right around Lambert Road and Danbrook Drive. As two suspects jumping out of a vehicle, the driver going in one direction, the passenger going in a different direction. But right now, police continuing to keep an eye on this situation as we also continue to monitor all these final details.
Dave, we appreciate your time tonight. Of course, this has just been one of those weird ones, but we hope that this comes to an end where those people are taken into custody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. But no problem at all. You guys take care.
Dave, thank you.
And
you betcha.